Good day and welcome at the 79th um, episode of the series Decolonizing the Mind. And I'm doing a weekly update of the geopolitical situation from a decolonial perspective. So last week uh, we saw the resumption of the genocide in Palestine, the further uh, actions by the Trump administration, war in Yemen, interesting interview with Modi, Ukraine, and the preparation for the war with Iran. It's heartbreaking to watch television and the social media. You get so angry when you see how, in front of the world, babies, children, women, men are being slaughtered by the Zionists, with the support of the West and the support of Arab regimes who come with hollow words but do nothing to stop the genocide in Gaza and also in the West Bank. And the Zionists and the Americans, they believe that they are up to the final solution, that this war is the war for the final solution, meaning that they will kill off the resistance in Gaza, West Bank, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, and finally Iran. So they think that the successes they have in martyring Yahya Sinwar, Ismail Haniyeh, and Hezbollah leader Said Nasrallah, that they are on the way. And in the West Bank, in Gaza, they have killed several Hamas commanders. Now they are preparing for an assault, a new ground offensive, which they think can lead to the finishing off of Hamas. They set up an administration office to offer people who want to leave Gaza, go to other countries, and escape the hell of Gaza. And they hope that many people will respond to that. So there's a concerted effort there to do the final solution for Palestine. And in Lebanon, they had some success with the new government who they work with whom they work to isolate Hezbollah. They haven't succeeded yet, but they are doing their best. In Syria, they have succeeded, where Turkey's HTS are basically their partner, although the Israelis keep bombing the military infrastructure, ensuring that when a situation would occur in which ATS loses, then at least the military infrastructure has been demolished. In Yemen, they started bombing Yemen, and they are preparing for the war with Iran. So Trump has dismantled the Voice of America, and what is interesting is the facts that come out of it. Elon Musk had posted on X, nobody listens to them anymore. It's just radical left crazy people talking to themselves about torching 1 billion per year of US taxpayers' money. So he's saying these basically CIA operations are ineffective. And they cost 1 billion per year with 1,300 staff. So you can see Voice of America and all these media outlets operated by CIA are being dismantled, not because of reasons that they don't want to rule the world. They do want it, but they don't think this instrument is effective. So that's why they dismantle it and try to see if there are other more effective means. And then the attacks on Yemen. And Abdul Rahman Al Anumi, director of the Yemeni General Corporation for Radio and Televisions, he reacted to all these news outlets saying, oh, now Yemen is going to be destroyed by Trump. He said, Sana'a, the capital of Yemen, was not broken by 200,000 raids, and its steadfast will not be broken by a million raids. So, in the past decade, they have been bombed 200,000 times. And 2015, the bombing by Saudi-led military coalition which invaded countries with the support of the British, Americans, and Israeli, it didn't have any effect. So the threats with the airstrikes are nothing but propaganda, he said. And this rhetoric doesn't frighten us. So when the history of the transition from Western colonialism to a new world civilization will be written, the people of Yemen will have a glorious chapter in that history, because what they are doing and the sacrifices they are making is immense and is so admirable. We can't thank them enough for what they are doing. So the Western media is talking about attacks by Israel and US on Yemen, but the Yemenis are talking about attacking Israel and the US. They have declared that Israel Ben Gurion's airport is now unsafe for air traffic and remains so until the aggression in Gaza ends and the blockade is lifted. The drone force of Yemen carried out operations against U.S. naval assets in the Red Sea, especially targeting warships linked to USS Harry Truman, and there are images of it, which you don't see in the West. Another interesting development last week was an interview that Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave to Lex Freeman, which is a MIT research assistant and podcaster, and where he talks about the relation between India and China, the past tensions, and now he advocates dialogue over discord, cooperation over conflict. He said India and China should engage in healthy and natural competition rather than confrontation. And the reaction of the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Weng she said, Prime Minister Modi's recent positive remarks on China-India relations are appreciated. In the 2000-year history of India-China interactions, friendly exchanges and mutual learning have been the mainstream, contributing significant to world civilization and human progress. If this continues, this is a major thing, because until now, India was put up by the West as an antagonist of China, and thereby weakening the global South unity and actions against the West. Then in Ukraine, very important, the US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff visited Putin, and he says, talking to Putin and talking to Zelensky, because he spoke to Zelensky, he says Zelensky has largely accepted that Ukraine will not be a member of NATO, and he has 100% confidence that Russia has no plan to attack European countries. He said that Zelensky agreed to new elections, and he adds, in an interview with Tucker Carlson, we just can't forever give money because they'll get ground down, and ultimately what you can't have there is a risk of any kind of nuclear action, even a tactical nuclear action. So he's saying, look, at the end of the day, the dynamic of the Ukraine war will lead to a nuclear war. That is that they all understand, and every intelligent observer could tell you that. I've been telling you that all along the way. This is not just a war between Ukraine, between NATO and Russia. It is a war that has a dynamic to grow into a nuclear war. And then Iran. Ayatollah Khamenei, the leader of Iran, said in his new Persian Year speech that if the United States carry out any vicious attack against Iran, they will receive a hard slap in the face. And he says the Western portrayal of resistance as a network of Iranian proxies, says the country has no proxies but support resistance fighters in the region. Basically, he's saying to the West, you don't understand how the resistance operates. You think that we direct these people, but these are all intelligent people capable of making their own decisions, but they are obviously cooperating with Iran. They are not directed by Iran. Iran is not telling them what to do, but this is a unity in the fight against Western colonialism. An important element is, that Kamal Kharasi, an advisor to the Supreme Leader, said, we have no decision to build a nuclear bomb, but should Iran's existence be threatened, there will be no choice but to change our military doctrine. So Trump is saying to Iran, if you develop nuclear weapons, you might, if you don't stop with it now, there's a risk of war. And he's saying, if there is a risk of war, we might just develop it. So keep in mind that the situation in Palestine is deteriorating, and we don't know how it will be the coming time, but definitely something to watch week by week. Thank you for watching. If you want to support the channel, subscribe to it, share it with friends, families, and colleagues. Encourage them to subscribe, get involved in the discussion group. And if you want to make a donation, go at sandohir.com to see how you can. Thank you for your attention. Hopefully, till next week.